Hi, everybody. Back in the Cobb TV studios with our Chief Appraiser, Stephen White, for our semi-annual visit concerning the arrival of the annual notice of assessments that should be popping up in people's mailboxes. Who's getting these and what are they?
So the annual notice of assessment is a notice from our office declaring what we feel the value is worth for tax year 2024. So folks should keep in mind that the value that we're placing is as of January 1, 2024. To arrive at that, we're looking at sales activity that occurred in calendar year 2023.
So the arrival of this in your mailbox, actually when you send it out, starts a clock, correct?
That's correct. And so up at the top right-hand corner, you have the date of the notice and you have the final date to file an appeal. As folks determine if they want to file an appeal or not, we would encourage them to go to our website. If you want to file an appeal, please file it electronically. That's the fastest way and the way that you can be most assured that we get it. Other than dropping it off at our office, we'll give you a stamped copy of a receipt. I would encourage folks as well, take a look at the sales activity, the sales that occurred in calendar year 2023. You can do that from our website very easily. Once you search on your parcel, there's buttons there to click to see sales in your general valuation area. If you have any trouble at all, you can email us, you can call us, you can come in. We'll give you the sales that have occurred that we are showing you that support the value that we have on your property.
In a prior video that we did, we talked about the digest growth in Cobb County and what that looks like this year compared to last year and how that may manifest itself on these notice of assessments.
So by and large, less people are seeing an increase this year. And on average, the amount of increase is less than it was last year, on average. And in our video that we did just a short time ago, we announced that the digest projection was 7.5%. So that is a little bit lower than it was last year. And that's because the market is still moving forward. We're just not going as fast as we were at this time last year. The notice of assessment will show you last year's fair market value. It shows you this year's fair market value. The current year fair market value is what we are putting on the property for the value as of January 1, 2024. So that's good for folks to remember. This value is reflective of what we feel the property can be sold for on January 1st. Not today, January 1st. That's why we look at what sales occurred in the prior calendar year. And then you have a tax estimate, which is based on the millage rates from last year with the current year value.
You mentioned if you're interested in appealing, the best way to do that is online. There's been some concern about the mail service. It's no secret. It's been in the news. So how concerned are you about these arriving in the mail promptly and then people appealing via the mail?
Well, if we receive an envelope that is postmarked by the United States Mail Service by the deadline date, we will honor that, no matter how late it comes. However, I encourage folks, please appeal electronically if that's what you're going to do. If you're going to file an appeal, please do that electronically because it guarantees that we got it. We will send you a letter. If you have appealed, we are going to send you a confirmation letter. If you've appealed and you haven't received that in a few days, you may want to give us a call. So I encourage folks, appeal electronically if that's what you need to do, or come into our office and drop off your appeal. That's a safe way to do it as well. Like I said, we'll stamp it received. We know that you got it. You know that we have it. We'll process it timely.
Once I do file an appeal, should I decide to do so, what happens then?
From that point, we're going to review your appeal. I encourage folks, once you appeal, send in information that you feel justifies a lower value. That's really how you have a successful appeal, is by supporting your opinion of value, which would in many cases be lower. So for folks who just send in a letter that says, I wish to appeal, that's a timely appeal and we're going to honor that. However, if folks send in information along with their appeal supporting their point of view on the value, it gives us more to look at and it increases your chances of a reduction.
And of course, last year we had a pretty vigorous real estate market and valuation went up for a lot of people, and I imagine that affected how many people appealed.
Absolutely. Yeah, we did have a high number of appeals last year. So far, based on what I've seen, we put the notices in the mail last week. The traffic is less than this time last year. The emails are less, and that always manifests itself due to the number of increases that people have and how much property values are going up.
One thing that you mentioned on the notice of assessment, you get the estimated tax at the bottom. And that may look a little bit different this year compared to last year because something's missing.
Yes, last year's tax bill had a homestead tax relief grant, HTRG. That was a little over $100 for homesteaded properties. That is not in play this year. So if you're comparing your estimate of the assessment notice that you just got to last year's tax bill, the estimate will be higher for people who received no change or an increase because that homestead tax relief grant is not on for 2024.
Another thing that's been in the news quite a bit is the fact that there's legislation that has passed down at the Gold Dome concerning capping the amount of increases in your tax bill each year. What's the status of that, and how does that affect what you do?
Well, we're going to get some more information from the Department of Revenue with further details here in just a few weeks, but that bill will send a referendum out. Voters will determine if they want to make that change where assessments are capped on homesteaded properties at just a few percent each year. And again, that's just for homesteaded properties. It's a statewide homestead float. We're well aware what a homestead float is here in Cobb County because we have one on the Cobb General Fund. However, this would be for all other funds like school and fire and city.
So if you still have questions after all the information we've just imparted in this video, you're going to have some folks doing a tour of libraries to help facilitate some of those answers.
We will. So something that we did last year, we went to libraries, a couple of them, and we found that it was successful. We want to educate folks on the process as well as information about their property and sales activity so that they can make an informed decision about whether or not that they want to appeal. So we will be at 4 different libraries, 2 nights between now and the end of the appeal season for residential properties. And we're going to display a graph here of which libraries we're going to be at. If you'd like to talk with our folks, you're always welcome to come to our office. You can email us. We'll be happy to provide questions. But if you'd like to talk to somebody face-to-face, you'd like to see the sales and have a conversation, we'll have a couple of appraisers there at the libraries after hours, 6 to 8 p.m. after work hours, so that we can talk with folks a little bit more, get some more educational opportunities out. We're coming out into the community instead of making folks drive to Whitlock Avenue.
And if they wanted to appeal, I guess those folks could help do that.
Yeah. If they want to appeal, we will be able to take your appeal right there at the library. We'll mark it stamped, where we will stamp it, I should say, as received. You'll have a receipt from us. We can email you a receipt. And that way you'll know that the appeal was filed timely and the assessor's office hasn't.
All right, and also we'll put the locations, dates, and times of those library visits from the tax assessor's office in the description of this video as well. To recap, if you get your notice of assessment and you want to appeal, you can do that by mail, which I think is traditionally what people have done in the past, but on your website, in red on the front page, there's a place where you can electronically do it, and that's what you're recommending.
Yes, if folks want to appeal, we recommend, again, they use our website. That's the best way to file an appeal. Actually, our module even walks you through the process. So you can see what sales activity occurred in your general valuation area. You can make an informed decision about what you feel the value of your property is worth. And I also encourage folks to take a look at the data characteristics that we have on your property. We're basing the value based on the data that we have on your home. Take a look at what we have for square footage, bedroom count, bathroom count. Do we have the appropriate swimming pool, garage that's detached, finished basement? Take a look at all that data, make sure that it's accurate. If it's not, give us a call. If there's an error, we can fix it.
And speaking of the mail, if I did not get my annual notice of assessment, and I expect it every time this year at this time, what should I do? Panic?
Go to our website. You can see a copy of your assessment notice by searching on your property. Halfway down the page, you'll see all of the assessment notices. It's a PDF. You just click the button. You can take a look at the 2024 assessment notice.
All right, thanks. It's that time of year again. The notice of assessments should be in your mailbox, and the clock is ticking if you want to appeal. A lot of places to get information. And again, thanks for coming in and letting us know about all the places where we can get answers to our questions.
Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.